Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are, day 12. And I want to start with a distinction this morning that I think will change the way you relate to your own interior life, your inner space. That sounded goofy. That's okay. The distinction is between clarity and certainty. So most of us have been trained by culture, by religion, by the educational systems that we move through to pursue certainty. And that's where real confidence comes from, right? To have the answer, to know the right move, to be sure before we act. And most of us have also discovered, if we're honest, that certainty is a much rarer commodity than we were promised. Really, life at every level contains more ambiguity than the systems we were raised and prepared for us. And that's okay. It really is, but it doesn't make it easy. And so we end up in this painful, exhausting middle, this limbo state, not certain, but trying desperately to be certain, holding the uncertainty at arm's length. And then we get frozen. We refuse to move until we've resolved what might never be fully resolvable. And what I want to offer this morning is a different orientation entirely, not certainty, but clarity. We can define words all differently. So for the sake of clarity, clarity is not the absence of questions. It is the presence of reliable internal reference points. Okay? It's the ability to know, not everything, not the full picture, not the guaranteed outcome. Those are not possible. But it's the ability to know enough about who you are, what you value, what direction you're heading, the direction you're actually oriented, that you can make then real decisions that aren't necessarily really decisions from a real place. They're just natural outcomes, the expression of who you are. Clarity is having a compass, not a map. See, a map tells you the whole terrain. It shows you the route. It removes ambiguity of not knowing where you are. Certainty is a map. Certainty is useful, like a map is useful, but they're not always available. And when they're not, people who only know how to navigate by map just sort of stop moving. They wait. They can't move until the terrain is fully charted. A compass doesn't show you the terrain. It shows you the direction. It shows you which way is true north you're heading. And with that, just that, a person who knows how to navigate can move through completely unknown territory without getting lost or feeling lost. So clarity in this comparison is a compass, and it is infinitely more available than certainty. Matter of fact, it's always available. So the fourth stage in the pathway to freedom is clarity. And it arrives in a very specific way, not through accumulating enough information, not through resolving enough questions, or even waiting long enough. Or some people say, I'll just wait till I have all the information. No, it arrives through the excavation that really happens in the previous stages, through the honesty that the Hall moment demands, the HALL. Honesty aligns liberation's language, and there's a higher academic technical backbone from that. But right now, just the all aha moment, the Hall moment. And it really, so we get clarity there through the excavation that happens in these stages, through the Hall moments that really demand them, and through the grief that clears the space, the courageous actions that give you evidence about who you actually are. So clarity and everything that we've talked about is what moves when the noise and the performance, the false self-architecture begin to move out. Clarity moves in. It's not a new thing being added. It's the thing that was always there. The actual self, the actual signal, the actual nature becoming audible as the interference decreases. So that's why you can't think your way to clarity. You have to excavate. You have to dig and discover your way there. The clarity that arrived for me on April 8th, 2023 was not the clarity of having all the answers. My life at that moment extremely complicated, and extremely painful. Many things were unresolved. Many things were uncertain. And honestly, I'll say it again, painful. But the clarity was this: I know who I am, not necessarily what I'm going to do. I don't know how this is going to pan out, if it even will. I don't know what the future looks like, but I know who I am. I know what I value, and I know what I cannot be separated from in those values and still be myself. I know the direction that I'm going. I know my orientation, the heading, but I don't really know the destination. I don't know what it looks like when I get there, but I know the direction. And I know for the first time that I can trust my own compass. That's it. And since that day, 1,084 days, that clarity has not wavered once through everything. And there's been a great deal and is always going to be a great deal of everything since April 8th, 2023. But the clarity has never changed. It's held. Why? Because it's not based on the circumstances. It's based on something that circumstances cannot touch, cannot reach. That's the gift of genuine clarity. It's not shaken by external turbulence because it's internal. It's not sourced in external conditions. It lives underneath the weather. And once you have found it, once you've excavated down to it, it becomes the most reliable thing in your life. So honesty aligns liberation's language. The whole moment of clarity. Oh, it's whisper quiet. Very anticlimactic. It's the moment you realize you know. Not everything. Just yourself. Just enough to move from where you're standing. The honesty is, I've been operating without a compass for a long time. I've been navigating by other people's maps, being moved by other people's voices, being charged by other people's opinions. And I've been waiting for certainty that was never going to come. The alignment is this: I don't need certainty. I don't need it because I have direction. I have a reference point. I know which way is true north. And the language that forms from that alignment is the most stable language you will ever have in your entire life, because it's not dependent on anything outside of you. It's the voice of your own discovered self, speaking from a place that external conditions cannot easily touch. So here's how you know when you've touched real clarity. It's quiet. It doesn't need to argue. Certainty is often very loud. It has to convince and insist. It's got to fight the doubt that keeps threatening it, right? We got to engage in the debate. Clarity is still. It doesn't need to prove itself. It's just there like bedrock. It returns. When something external shakes you, like a conflict or disappointment or a period of confusion, clarity goes quiet for a moment, but it comes right back. It returns to the same place, the same true north. That consistency over time is how you know it's real rather than temporary. And it moves through ambiguity without panicking. The person with genuine clarity can be in the middle of tremendous uncertainty and even pain, chaos, not knowing the outcome, not having the answer, and still function. Not only function, thrive. They can still move, still make real decisions, because they know the direction even when they cannot see the destination. And if they see things that are taking them away from that direction, they don't engage. So here's today's question. Is there a place in your life where you have been waiting for certainty, for the full map, when you might already have enough clarity to move? And what do you already know? What is your compass already pointing toward? What has been clear for a while underneath the noise that you haven't yet trusted enough to act on? So you don't need all the answers. You need enough of them to take you to the very next step. One step forward, 1 degree shift. And you may already have enough. So this is day 12. We're in the heart of the second week. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about something that gets glossed over in transformation conversations. the relationships that can't come with you. Not because you're abandoning anyone, but because some connections were built for the old version of you and simply cannot hold to the new one. And learning to navigate that experience with grace is its own kind of freedom. So be well. I'll see you in the morning, and let's set you free.